Welcome, everyone, to the Alive with Courage podcast. I'm here with Kurt Luginbuhl, a longtime friend, client, and just an amazing individual that I just can't wait to give to the world, man. It's been such a cool friendship and such a cool journey with you over the last 25 years. And just there's a really beautiful story to tell about your life. So I'm excited to jump into that today. The Alive with Courage podcast is really designed for leaders that are living fully alive and courageously in what they're up to in their calling. And Kurt has a beautiful calling on his life. And well, why don't we just get started talking about like where we met? I mean, this was like 25 years ago in the dorm rooms.
Crazy.
I feel like you actually have a better memory than I do when it comes to these like seminal moments. So where were we? What was that?
Oh man. You came into my dorm room super early, like first week of school, right after I'd moved in freshman year. You were a sophomore, a year older than me. And you were trying to sell some books that you had from the year before. And you were locked in, you were focused. You're like, is anybody taking this class? And you were like going room to room, and you came in, you sat down on our couch and you're like, how come you guys aren't taking this class? And
oh my gosh.
So that was my first impression.
That is classic.
Yeah. And then obviously got to know you a lot more, seeing each other and then just connecting in the same friend group and then living together. My senior year, the year after you graduated. And
good.
we came and visited you in Chile when you were living down there, which was awesome. And we traveled a little bit in Chile and then went up to Costa Rica and
100%. Oh, so good. Yeah. The thing I remember about you is like, you had this confidence, like this positivity, and you were dating Sonia, like older woman.
Not yet. I started dating her the next year. Yeah. Sophomore year, I started dating. Yeah.
But like
older woman. Yeah.
But I remember just in college being like, who's this guy? Like he's already got his wife lined up. Like he's like the most loyal, confident, positive, epic guy. And just always so like people oriented and friendship oriented. And it was such a light and a gift to like our ecosystem of friends. Like those were such real rad years.
Okay, so some impressions of you, Seth, that are still, very true. Like your pursuit of depth and your, desire to understand things and understand the right way to go about things and to do things in a way that's true to who you are. Like, especially when we lived together, I really admired that about you and was really inspired by that, whether it was things like what you're studying, what you're reading, but also like diet, stretching, exercise, sleep, like your understanding and commitment to really, taking care of yourself and then finding ways to take care of others has always, inspired me.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
That. I got a lot of heat for doing my like stretching exercises.
You still do. Yeah.
What is he doing?
He had the first person I ever knew that had a memory foam mattress on his bed was Seth. So,
so good. I love it. Well, I mean, it's fun to be able to look back 25 years ago, but like, who do you think that Kurt was that was getting developed and created? Like when you think about the leader that you are now, as you lead and, Kurt leads in a large, contracting business for interior services, which is interior commercial blinds for large commercial buildings that we see all up and down the freeways of LA and Greater Orange County and San Diego and now Phoenix. So it's just this expanding world of drapes and interior treatments for large commercial buildings. And
peace, love, shades.
That's right.
Yeah.
Peace, love, shades. I love it.
Yeah.
And so you lead at a high level, you're a president of that company, you've taken it into the second generation, which is amazing. But it's always fun to look back and go like, who was at that stage of the game, like what was forming, what were the seeds that were forming for Kurt that you think were seeding you for this leadership position that you're in now?
Yeah, interesting. When I think about those years, and especially probably the first 2-3 years in college, wanting so badly to belong and connect, and especially with the core prevailing culture, the surf culture, that's not something I grew up in, but something I wanted so badly to be a part of. And then intertwined into that, men and women, young men, young women growing in their faith, understanding who God made them to be, what their calling is for their life. Like, yeah, I think that's really who I was. It was trying to find that belonging, trying to find that place, and then trying to find that depth and growth in faith and in character. And yeah.
No, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're an incredible connector, you know, like, and so I could see how that was like some of the genesis for that.
That's one of my most favorite things to do is to connect people. Like if I can find somebody and connect them with that, like, yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And then, so the Point Loma season happened, and then everyone's kind of starts going their own way. Like you have one more year. Like some of our friends, like we go off to go do that adventure to Chile. You guys join us there, which was so fun. But like, I feel like you jumped really quickly into this like really adventurous season with Sonia.
Yeah.
Like, and you guys were married?
Yeah. So Sonia and I, we started dating the summer of 2001, and we got married the fall, September.
Okay.
So the fall of 2004.
Yeah.
So right out of college, right after I graduated, we got married that next September. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. And then jumped into the Peace Corps, like, of all things, right?
Yeah.
And shipped off to Madagascar.
Yeah. And it was a journey getting there. Sonia had studied at Fuller while I was at Point Loma.
Okay.
We really wanted to go live and work overseas, and we wanted to go live and work in service to those who need help and need justice. And so our initial vision was to go and work with refugees. At the time, there were a ton of people in the Middle East that had flooded into Amman, Jordan, and other places, Palestinians, Iraqis. So we actually signed up with a mission agency. We flew to Amman, Jordan, and checked out a language school, checked out a mission organization, all that. And on the way home, and after we got home, we're just like really wrestling with not feeling a clear calling, and really particularly not feeling confident in raising a bunch of money and asking our friends and family to support us.
Gotcha.
So we started looking at other opportunities, and that's when we were like, the Peace Corps, volunteer, they put you somewhere where you're needed. So that whole journey from when we got married, we actually left for our training for the Peace Corps on our 2-year anniversary. So we'd been married for 2 years, and in those 2 years, living in Sierra Madre, which is right by where I grew up in Altadena. My parents' business was in Pasadena, so I was working for them for 2 years.
Yeah.
Sonia worked at a local nonprofit that houses and shelters homeless pregnant women. So I had that 2 years working with my parents, and then we left on this Madagascar Peace Corps adventure, and we thought that was like the initial stage of the rest of our lives, living and working overseas.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you think was it like? You guys meet and come together, and you decide this is our common vision to go like work overseas. Like, what, I'm just curious, what were some of the underpinnings of like, because it's rare, I think it's rare for two people to come together and be like, yeah, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think called you into that?
Yeah. I mean, Sonia and I's relationship, like we were friends. She's 3 years older than me. 3 grades. So she was a senior and I was a freshman at the same high school. And I didn't have a shot. And then after my freshman year at Point Loma, we worked together. I was an intern for our youth group, and she was a part-time staff member there.
Yeah.
And we led a short-term mission trip to Venezuela. So like, and we were when we left on the trip and when we got home, we were not together. We weren't dating. We were friends. But that summer is really when we decided that we were into each other. And so foundationally, our work together had been serving the youth in our community through our youth group.
That's like how you connected.
Yeah. That was the context for our relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. As we started dating. So, and then
what took it out to the world where it's
so she was at Fuller, and when she started, it was the School of World Mission at Fuller. And then by the time she graduated, it had changed to the School of Intercultural Studies, something like that. And that was what she was studying. At Point Loma, I was studying philosophy and theology, and I really got informed, impacted by kind of the social justice movement that was going on at the time.
Wow.
So we were kind of riffing off each other on understanding our place in the world, understanding what God is trying to do in the world, and it being this active, active work, not this like passive sitting at home praying, but this like getting out there, engaging with neighbors, engaging with the people on the margins of our society.
Dang.
Yeah. And then after we got married, her job was, in that space for 2 years. Yeah. And she comes from a long line of missionaries. Her mom was born in Argentina, grew up in Brazil. So like most of Sonia's aunts and uncles on that side and cousins now are in that space. So that's something that, we had seen and we're curious about. And
so cool.
Yeah.
What do you feel like when you guys wrapped that experience? What was deposited? What did you guys learn from that experience?
Oh, so much. Yeah. I mean, it was way harder than we thought it would be, moving overseas, learning a new language, learning a new culture. We were sick a lot, which was tough.
Yeah.
We missed home. We had been apart. So we got married in September, and our good friend, who was the youth pastor at the church that we were both involved in, had a calling to plant a church in Monrovia, where we now live. And that started in January 2005. So like a few months after we got married, and we were a part of that initial church plant.
Yeah.
So in Madagascar, we were missing that. We suddenly had this like urge to start a family and have kids. And we quickly realized we didn't want to do that overseas. We wanted to do that back at home where we come from. And we wanted to come back and get involved in the life of our church again. And then I really felt like a clear sense of desire to go back to work for my parents.
Interesting.
And eventually take over the business. And I remember calling my dad and telling him, hey, I want to come back home, and mom and dad, I want to come to work for you. So
tell me about that calling to the family business.
Yeah.
Why was that potent and like, I can't pass this up for you, do you think?
I mean, it was an incredible foundation. Like, it was something that was there, ready to go, was ripe. I didn't realize how much I liked it until I stopped doing it and left for the Peace Corps.
Yeah.
It was really clear to me, like, our space geographically, economically in the LA market, there's a tremendous opportunity there. So I felt like this could be something that, would be a lot of fun and could support our family and could also continue to support our calling and desire to shine light in this world and be generous with what we have and help our community around us, and
like a killer vehicle for a lot of different things.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'd always felt really comfortable leading. And some of that's experiences I had when I was a kid with Boy Scouts, at school, ASB stuff in high school. Like, I loved it. I was into it. I enjoyed it. I always felt comfortable in that space. So thinking about going back and leading and running a business, frankly, just sounded really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember, actually, for some reason, I have this memory of like being in the driveway of the house I was living in at the moment. And I was on the phone with you because I was in a family business as well. We were manufacturing boom truck cranes, of all things, and like, I remember just walking together in that sort of experience.
Totally.
And I think my experience was like, I'm looking for an exit point, and you were looking for like deeper roots. And I was like always super curious of like, wow, like, how did that transpire for you?
Yeah.
And it's cool to see like, we decided to transition our company and sell, and then you guys decided to keep moving and going. And it's been really cool to see what you created.
Yeah.
So like, that's pretty cool. So it's like, hey, the moment I knew this was right for us to step into taking this over was really just about like, this is gonna be fun. Like, this is gonna be an insane experience.
And it seemed like too good of an opportunity to not take. I mean, what my parents built was amazing. The foundation of, their principles, their beliefs in how to treat people and how to do business with others, and being reliable, and the value just in being a reliable provider or vendor or subcontractor or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Was inspiring, and like, it's too good of an opportunity not to
check out. Yeah. I love that. So give us a sense for like, what is Interior Services? Like, what are you guys up to?
Yeah.
What's your guys' mission?
Yeah. My parents started our business in 1983. We sell and install interior window coverings, shades, blinds, draperies. And over the years, my vision for it has been to transition it to just doing commercial construction projects. So
Gotcha. Out of residential.
out of single family residential. Yeah, we do a little bit of multifamily residential, but we're a subcontractor on big construction projects. So hospitals, schools, offices, we come in and we put the shades in.
Yeah.
And it's this tiny little piece of the overall construction project. And a lot of times it feels like we're an afterthought. So yeah, but that's our business. We've grown it to, we have 50 employees now. And that's, I think, yeah, what keeps me going and keeps me excited is the opportunity that it gives us to not only provide for our family and be generous in our community, but also to see people achieve things that they never thought were capable of. Whoa. And to see really everybody on our team thrive and grow and be able to provide for their families and pursue the things that they love outside of work. And for most of us right now, that's our kids. We're pretty young. I'm 44. On our leadership team, there's 4 of us. I'm the oldest. In our organization, I mean, I bet I don't know what it is, but our average age is probably like 32. So a lot of us are kind of right in the middle of raising kids and
Wow.
So that excites me that Interior Services is able to provide a great place for our employees to work, to grow, to thrive. And we have our kind of purpose, cause, passion that we talk about a lot is caring deeply, giving generously, and living fulfilled. So and that's not just for me, the owner, but that's something that I believe I want everybody at Interior Services to experience those things, to have a place where they can apply the care that they have. That's something that comes up over and over, is why we do what we do is because we care. And then the giving generously, like really believing in taking what we've been given and blessed with and sharing it with others. And then the living fulfilled, being able to show up and coach Little League and volunteer where you want to volunteer and go on vacation and all those things. Yeah.
Like that's not just for the guy who owns the company. No. It's for, it's something that we're trying to weave into the whole. That's so good.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm just thinking about like stories that like illustrate that. Like when you think about employees or different people that you've seen like really thrive in that. Because what I hear you saying is there's like, we're not just installing shades and trying to move from one shop to the next. Like there's actually a huge value in seeing this as a playground for employees and clients and vendors to like really be sharing in those values you just mentioned. So I was just curious, like, how do you, like, who are some of the people or the stories that have like really emerged from that platform?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, and it's interesting as I think about that. I mean, I think about a bunch of people that worked at Interior Services that no longer do, that have gone on and moved on, but have that kind of like entry way to the real world or their career. A bunch of stories like that. And then, people that are still with us that have really, tell me, I've found somewhere that I want to stay and I want to be and I want to continue to grow in. And it's interesting right now. One of our biggest initiatives is standing our ground. The dark side of caring deeply and giving generously is being taken advantage of.
Shoot, yeah.
And as we've grown, that's kind of been my default way to lead, is like, let's be generous. Let's really care. And we're realizing we have to also stand our ground and not be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm most grateful for right now with our team is how encouraging they have been to me to continue to lead in a way where we do stand our ground and don't just fold over. In construction, it's pretty cutthroat, and people all the time want to, we're at the very end of the project. Sure. So all the finishes are in. We're one of the last things that happens. So often they're like, well, there's damage on the wall. It had to have been you guys. Or there's a rip on the carpet. It had to have been you guys. And we're trying to go next level on standing our ground. And what I've found fascinating is how much our team like feels so cared for and validated by me and our leadership team saying, yeah, we're going to start standing our ground, and seeing them feel like they're so much more valued and they have so much more worth in what they're doing because ownership and management has their back.
Dang.
And isn't just folding over.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. And you've had like guys come in as installers
Yeah.
and just really like move through the whole company to be now project managers.
Yeah.
Now even like part of the leadership team.
Yeah. All 4 of us on our leadership team, all 4 of us started as teenagers as installers.
So cool.
And again, I'm the oldest. I'm 44. Chris is the youngest. I think he's 36, something like that. And then Jeff and Josh are in between there. Yeah. So it's cool seeing that organic growth and those growth and opportunities. And yeah, our 2, all of our senior PMs, estimators, started at more of a base position, some of them as installers. So
very cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part about leading right now, like in interior services? What do you love about going to work?
I get excited every day about that. Like, okay, what are these new muscles that I need to be flexing around standing our ground? And I get excited to see how positively not just our employees, but our customers even respond to that. And I've really been surprised. At times we've been like, no, it wasn't our fault. That rip on the carpet's not our fault. Or no, we're not going to just be taken advantage of just because you're asking us to. And I get excited about seeing the responses to that. I got a comment yesterday back from a customer who's delighted with one of our project managers and our installers, and like giving that feedback back to their supervisor, and then that passing down and them seeing that appreciation, approval. I get a ton of joy about that. I mean, the whole business development side is still super fun, going out chasing down new work, seeing our team persevere through difficult, challenging projects. We've got a lot of those right now, and seeing like everybody come together and rally around the same objective. And then hearing the stories about what people have going on in their everyday life and the ways that they're giving generously and caring deeply, even outside of our business.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I've been in the halls of interior services, and it's so cool to just see all these little nucleuses of 50 people, you said?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. And then to see, like, I remember being in a large group gathering with all you guys, and it was just so cool to see the life that's like running, like there's just pulsing life, like in all these little sub pockets of like what you guys do. And it's so cool to see like the personal ownership and especially like just the sense of accomplishment that a lot of these guys have, like from, like you said, being teenagers installing to like where they are now. It's just a really cool, like life-giving track that it seems like a lot of people have been on. So it's really cool to see.
And that's hard fought, like, and not just by me, but by the, everybody else that's bought in along the way. And it's hard fought to create that and then maintain that. And then in the times when things suck, like right now we're dealing with like tariffs are a nightmare. It's pretty competitive out there, but to see everybody just really rallying around like, no, this is interior services. This is our interior services. We got to work hard to continue to steward it and keep it healthy.
Yeah. I'm super curious, like, because the more you're talking, the more I'm realizing like there's a really deep value for human-centered life, like at interior services. And then there's like the performance side of it, like we got to get some ish done kind of a thing. And like, it seems like you guys are walking that narrow path, like quite in a very challenging way. And I guess I'm curious, like, what have you guys learned in that path of like, because like you've told me stories of like, hey, we got some guys on our team that like in their personal life, if there's some things not working well, and that flows back into workspace, and we've got to learn how to like care, love, and support and encourage. And then but the bottom line, we do have a job to fulfill, and we do have these commitments to high quality for our customers, and you guys seem like you have the patience and willingness to walk that line a bit. And there's something there like that seems distinct for you guys. Like how would you name that, or what would you call that?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. It's such a challenge. Like you give somebody grace today, and for me, the default fear that creeps in can be, all right, they're going to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
But we keep doing it, and we keep trying to do it the kind, caring, loving way. And I think being
without getting taken advantage.
Well, yeah. And then kind of finding that fine line of like, okay, I'm going to be taken advantage. I mean, it's happened multiple times in the last, year or two. And it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
And we don't want to throw everything out and just be like this crazy, strict corporate entity. And in some ways we've had to become that. Like we've got a legit handbook. Like you get written up if you don't take your lunch break.
Yeah.
But we have to do those types of things.
Yeah.
But we're also, I feel like, doing a good job of finding some gray area and showing that grace and giving accommodation. And then too, like being generous with our employees and finding creative ways to show them our support. And again, our leadership team does a great job of that, of finding ways to show our guys and gals how much we appreciate them and that, what they've got going on in their life is just as important or more important than what they've got going on at work.
Yeah.
And the stuff at work's got to get done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that answers it.
Well, yeah, because a lot of workplaces will just say, leave your personal life at the door.
Yeah.
Like you're here for one reason.
And I want to say that every day.
Yeah,
I do.
Totally. Yeah.
And sometimes I do say that.
Well, it'd make it a lot simpler, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we don't have to deal with this other stuff that's in
Yep.
your life. But it's not part of your core values, right? So it's like, okay, so we contend here, right?
Yeah.
Like, dang.
Yep.
Yeah, that's to me that's a sign of just a lot of courage.
Yeah,
And like it requires, there's a lot of unknown corners.
Yeah.
That you have to navigate around. Like, how do you
I think what you said right there really hits it too. Like not being afraid and knowing that no matter what happens or how much we are taken advantage of, we'll get through it and we'll find a way to move forward. And sometimes it happens in a beautiful way where there can be some change in behavior. There can be some change in commitments from us, from our employees. But then there's times too where it's like, this isn't working. This isn't right. We need to, but not, I feel like growing up and maturing and not letting that fear be my default or our default, really our leadership team's default.
Yeah.
But instead having that confidence to know we'll figure this out. We'll get through this and we'll figure this out in the right way, in the interior services way that we believe in. Yeah.
Do you find that there's like, if say like termination is part of the journey or whatever, do you find that that's like, you're both at the table and you're like, yeah, I could see why we're here. Like it's almost versus like, if you're leading with fear, I would imagine it's like, we don't even go through any journey of growth or grace. It's just, you're gone because you missed it, like.
Yeah. I'm involved in most of the conversations when it is termination.
Yeah.
And I would say in the last maybe even 5 years, there haven't been any where it's been like, this is a surprise.
Yeah.
Like it's now, there are some I'm not involved in because they're super early on. And that's another thing we've gotten really good at. If you join us and in the first 3 hours, 3 days or 3 weeks, we're like red flag, we're probably moving on.
Yeah.
And we're truly trying to like quickly move on. And I've been able to shift my mindset, really with the help of my team, to more of like that's what we have to do for everybody else that's still here.
Sure.
Like we can't let people in that don't match our values really at the end of the day. And that doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're not the right fit for us. And not being afraid of, hurting their feelings. I guess that's probably one of the biggest growth places for me. That kid in the dorm in college that wanted to belong so bad. What that looks like is everybody likes you and everybody wants to be your friend.
Dang, yeah.
And I think I know I carried that with me for a long, long time as a leader of our business, and being able to mature a little bit out of that and being like, you know what? I have a lot of people in my life that like me, and I don't necessarily need everybody to like me. I need to be true really to the people that I know match our values and line up with our vision of where we're going and how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's so good. Because like we have these parts of us that really serve us, like that part of you back at the point. You created tons of friends from it. And it was
and as Kurt, the business developer selling interior services, serves me fantastically.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like you said earlier, there's these dark sides to it where it's like,
Yep.
that Kurt has a really hard time saying goodbye or saying no to a really important client that wants you to take care of the carpet rip. And you're like,
Exactly.
that's not us, like,
Yep.
gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. So like a lot of what I love to talk about on this podcast too is really like how faith sort of practically integrates into these different leadership journeys. And I know like interior services is not the only leadership role that you play in. Like it's like, I know you're on the board of Boys and Girls Club in Monrovia, right? And then like also there's like little league teams that you're coaching, right? And then I feel like there's another one too. It's like part of IPO, and there's all these different like leadership groups, circles that you're in. And so like, but then
our church.
Yeah. I mean, like you and Sonia have such deep roots in like the whole mission of the church you guys are a part of is about serving the local community of Monrovia, which is so beautiful. And so like there's some really powerful ways in which you're like, it's just cool to see how God has said, like, it's not just interior services, it's like all these other areas. And I'm just curious how, like, where do you find yourself like really leaning into that faith? Like, and I'm asking this from like a strength point of view, because in order to go be courageous in those moments where you have to say no, or you have to let somebody go, or you have to like make a hard call, like at interior services, there's got to be some well of strength that like this bubbles up from. And I'm just curious, like, what does that look like in your, like, how do you foster, maybe I'm trying to connect the dots for you where I'm saying it's got to be your faith and that's what it is, but I'm wondering,
it is
it
100%?
But then what does it look like for you to be like drawing strength from that?
I mean that, and I feel like that's changed and grown and morphed over the seasons of my life. The season of Sonia and I's life, the season of our business. But 100%, that's the why behind showing up, for the people the way I try to show up for them every day at Interior Services, is that belief that they're loved by God, that belief that God has a plan for their life. And I don't mean that in like it's this perfectly orchestrated life that you always dreamed of, but like God cares deeply about who you are and where you're headed, and then what God wants to do through you. So I'd say foundationally 100%. And I mean, that's born out of, I think, the faith I grew up with, that was instilled in me from my parents and my family, and the faith that Sonia and I really grew in together in those early years of marriage. And then the faith that went out and left and tried to live overseas and change the world and was a health educator in Madagascar. And then, the faith that really drives not just my leadership at work, but like what Sonia and I give to. And that's money, but that's more importantly, I think, time and energy. And reconciling our place of privilege with our calling to care for God's people and our neighbors, our community members, people that don't have a voice in our communities, people that are scared to death and are hiding. And I think that faith is really what has driven us to grow the business and grow our capacity to give generously and have an impact on
well, almost like what I hear you saying is like just the intrinsic value that God has over each individual. Like it seems like you guys are like, like we see that too.
100%.
And so then that informs like how you go out and treat people.
For sure.
Like when you step out into the world, whether it's a customer, a vendor, like it's almost like the inherent value of a human is so much higher given the perspective that God has invited you to see others as. Is that?
Oh, and I would say, faith, my faith and really Sonia's constant impact on me in seeing everybody as the same. I mean, I feel like that's so foundational to God, to God's word, to Jesus, to being faithful is there's no person that's more valuable than anybody else. And finding the right choices, daily in those interactions to make sure you are looking at everybody in the same way as a person that was created by God.
Yeah.
And
Gosh, that radically changes.
It does.
How you
Yeah.
see the world, how
Yep.
you lead, how you
Yeah.
see that new person who just got hired at your company
Yeah.
and has been there for 2 weeks.
Totally.
You know, like,
Yep.
you've mentioned Sonia's name a bunch.
Yeah.
Like, how does she influence this leadership journey that you're on? Because I feel like there's some secret sauce in there that, like.
Yeah, I mean, her impact's huge. Right now, her main vocation, which it's two things. She's stewarding a fund that the city has given to our church to help people not get evicted, to help people stay where they live. So she's really working on the ground with people that are struggling, probably more than anybody else in the community.
Wow.
And she is showing up at least twice a week, usually more than that, at our kids' elementary school and pouring into kids and really like intentionally looking for who are the kids that need a caring adult in their life today.
Wow. Which the schoolyard is just like this chaos center of like kids getting just shredded.
Totally.
So like to have an adult there that's like, that ain't happening on my watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I'm off, promoting a business and growing revenue and trying to manage and reduce overhead costs and creating a vision for what the future of our business is going to look like and talking to other business owners and trying to woo customers and woo vendors and all that stuff. So it's very different. So like, but I think there's something really special there too, that, Sonia really helps me stay grounded and really helps me stay connected to that faith, that vision for living a life of service and making sure that it's not just a pursuit of
up into
as much as we can possibly get, but it's really a pursuit of the people that need to be pursued the most.
Dang.
Yeah.
To me, that just feels like, because it can become very easy to just be in that up in the right.
Yeah.
Like we're just growing, everything's moving fast. And like, it's almost like your whole life just starts moving.
Yeah.
Like you move out of the neighborhood you were in,
100%.
you get that bigger house, like you drive different cars, your kids are now
go to different school.
Private school.
Exactly.
Like, the whole thing just starts moving.
Yep.
And like, what I hear you saying is like, no. Like there is a grounded piece. So it's almost like the leadership gets to expand.
Huh.
Almost versus like we're taking our leadership and we're moving up the hill with it, kind of a thing, like, so it's like, it seems like there's a cool dynamic there where it's like, we're going wide and deep at the same time, so
it's cool. It's hard.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've said this for years now, like, I feel like that's one of the big callings on our lives, Sonia and I, is like to figure out, I always want to say like justify the two, but like how to, I think, I don't know if humble's the right word, but how to tenor or tether that, natural desire or natural momentum for more and more and more and more, and isolation.
Yeah.
And tether that to, no, this is where the ground's at. This is where the people are at. And this is where we want to be.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that, such good tensions, like producing so much fruit, like the second it becomes super easy and comfortable, it probably loses a lot of its spice and its life, so that's a really beautiful tension to be walking in. And I know it's not always easy every day, but
it's not, but like at the end of the day, I mean, we love each other, we believe in each other, and we're good at openly communicating most of the time. And humbly hearing what each other have to say. And
like both visions are valid.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, you and I had like probably one of such a gift to me, honestly, but you and I got to start working together in an executive coaching relationship, which
Yeah.
could seem weird where
Yeah.
like, hey, one of my best friends is
Yeah.
now my coach. And so there might be some like weirdness to push through there, but it seemed like we kind of pushed through that very easily.
Oh, yeah.
and entered into this like really unique relationship.
Yeah.
I just would be curious to hear from your side of the coin what that felt like to
Yeah.
be entering into a space like that. How would you describe it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I can ask a few questions after that. Yeah.
The way you when you started out as a coach, you had let me know, you'd reached out to me a couple times, and you called me out on being a total flake. I think specifically what you said to me is like, because I think I rescheduled like twice, just a call with you or something.
Okay.
And you texted me, you're like, there seems to be a theme for you.
Interesting.
That you aren't following through with your commitments, or you said something like that. And I think at that moment, I'm like, Seth really has something here and he believes in it. And he's not just trying to get me to like sign up for something, but he really believes in coming alongside people and asking them the questions they need to be asked, but also saying the things to them that need to be said to them. And like nobody else would ever call me out like that. Like I'm sure I've flaked on tons of people like, let's do it next week. No, sorry, I can't do it today. Let's do it next week. And you were like, this seems to be I think you asked, is this a pattern in your life?
Interesting.
And I thought about it. I'm like, crap, yes, this is a pattern in my life. So I think starting out there where it was like no BS and like, let's get to honesty and we're not going to dance around the truth. Let's just get to the truth. I think that really helped. Yeah. In that dual relationship.
Got it.
Having been friends and then now working on a professional coaching level.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really appreciated that.
Huh.
And I don't think a lot of people have the courage to just say things like that. Cause I mean, the risk there is like, I could have been like, Seth's a total jerk and I never want to talk to him again.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and there is a risk but like, I got exposed to a word that I hadn't really thought much about, but it's this word advocacy.
Yeah.
And in the way that it was defined for me as like fierce love. So it was like almost like as a friendship, you can have a loving friendship. I just love being around Kurt. I love going surfing with him. I love grabbing food or whatever. And like you could be just getting in your own way constantly during those interactions, like by flaking, not being there on time, or saying you're going to go do all these rad things and then you never do them, right? But like the friendship is just based in this like, well, I just love Kurt. That's just Kurt, right? But like when it shifts to like advocacy or fierce love for somebody, then it's like, oh, whoa, this is like a whole nother way of loving somebody, is by helping, basically being a mirror to them and helping them see how they get in their own way. Yeah. And it's crazy because oftentimes you don't get access to that as like permission, either unless you create that culture with your friends and you explicitly say, hey, do I have permission to give you feedback or whatever? Or you enter into a coaching relationship and you say, I'm going to pay you to give you access to this part of my life that I want you to have eyes on. And because you're my friend, like you're going to see it probably more 3D than most others would, right? Like, so yeah, that's interesting. And man, what a gift it was to be able to be trusted with that. I mean, it's a huge honor to be trusted with that. What do you think, like what stood out from that time? Like when, cause we spent a couple years together, really, really playing in this coaching space together. What stood out to you?
Oh man, it was hard. Like it was work getting, knowing that I was going to knowing that we had identified areas of growth and that we had then come up with, a sprint to get there, a plan to get there, and that I had to jump on a call with you and either tell you, yeah, Seth, I did it, or like, nope, didn't do it. And then if I didn't do it, it's like, well, why? What got in the way of it? I think the best metaphor really is like a trainer that you go to see at the gym, right? Yeah. Constantly putting a little bit more weight on the bar, constantly pushing you to do a couple more reps. So like generally that's what stands out. And I think without that, I know as a team, we're not in the place we're at. I know as a leader, I'm not in the place that I'm at. And there's language we use every day that came out of my first engagement with you, and then your engagement with some other leaders, and then you and your team's engagement with our company as a whole. Yeah, we talk about, there's all kinds of stuff. We talk about complaints being latent visions all the time. We talk about
wait, double click on that for a second.
Yeah.
Complaints become latent visions. What do you mean by that?
That if you have something you're complaining about, there's a vision just waiting to be born right behind that complaint. Yeah. Like there's something that can be changed or spruced up or manipulated to make something that's way better.
Yeah. That seems like it's like a fun little tool to have, but I wonder, what does it create in the culture?
Oh, dude,
if people, because
a couple weeks ago, the complaint is this customer always calls us at the last minute. Like, and then we don't have time. We don't have anybody available because we're a week out and we have to drop what we're doing and pay overtime.
Yeah.
And I mean, simple example, but the vision is, well, maybe if we say that we're going to be the best and we're going to have the best service, maybe we need to call that customer every week or every 2 days or send them an email. And that way they'll remember to call us, or when they don't, they've got an email sitting in their inbox that says, hey, we're a week out. Whenever you let us know you're ready, it's going to be a week. And when they call and they say, that's unacceptable, you have to be here, we can go back and say, no, look, we told you this for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That's like kind of a technical.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well,
but instead of that complaint just sitting there and everybody just being like, yeah, I know, they're the worst, they always call us last minute, it sucks.
Yeah.
It becoming something new and it creating, a new way of being for the way we go about doing our business.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like if complaints if they just cul-de-sac and like the cars of complaints just keep pulling into the cul-de-sac, it just gets to be this jammed, kind of almost like toxic space where it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
All these complaints, all those parked cars in that cul-de-sac, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
And so it's cool to see like, oh wow, like actually complaints come in, they get noticed, and they get turned right back around out of the cul-de-sac and back into vision because we're gonna go create something from this complaint. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see how that would like really free up a culture from getting stuck in complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Like I'm curious, are there what internal shifts did you notice as a leader, like going through, like, cause you're like, I'm signing up for this. I think we did 2 or 3 different runs at it, like over a period of 2 or 3 years. And so like curious, like what internal shifts did you notice for yourself?
The biggest one that jumps out is an internal shift of agency and ownership. And I mean, that kind of goes the complaint, latent vision, creating something new is a part of that because but really, everybody in our business realizing that they have the agency to change something. A lot of times that's just your mindset. It does not necessarily, we're not changing processes. We're not necessarily changing customers. We're not changing vendors, but we can change some mindset and we can change maybe some behaviors and some habits that can help us improve the service we're giving, help us improve our lives, help us improve how much we enjoy our jobs. So that sense of ownership, I think as a whole was really impacted by you and your team's work with us.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's been a huge gift.
So you see employees that like, they don't come to work like being told what to do every day. Like there's a certain maybe amount of that, but it sounds like you're saying they're lit up in a way that's like they have some agency over creating the world that they want to live in. Is that what you're saying, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, and that our team and our leaders especially have the tools to help them find that joy, find that agency again.
Got it.
And not get stuck in the like, I'm just coming in and
the victim world,
cranking levers and pushing buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a balance because like having the levers and the buttons and having the right processes and procedures is so important. But then if those guardrail things aren't giving you bandwidth to invest in time with your customers, invest in time with your coworkers, those you're leading, whatever it might be, like, yeah, they're not serving the right purpose. So, and yeah, finding ways to, find that margin, find that time, I think is that kind of that ownership mentality is what drives that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what patterns or habits do you think like got challenged or broken in that space that then emerged into something new? Anything come to mind when you think about like, I was leading in this way.
Yeah.
This got that scar tissue got broken up a bit.
Yeah.
Shifted in habits and different things. Anything.
The main one that jumps out is we used to say it is what it is and just walk away.
Yeah.
And now, like, that gets said and it's a joke because it's like, well, what can we change? Yeah. What it is what it is because every experience I'm having is an experience I'm creating.
Oh, dang.
Or everything's working out exactly the way I want it to.
Yeah. Ooh, so. Yeah. You're on the ownership theme.
Yeah.
Those are such powerful statements.
They are.
Of like,
yeah.
And they can cut, right? Like, you could throw that on someone and it cuts hard, right?
Those are statements you can use in a place of privilege and power. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And I like a lot of the ways that I use those statements too is like, I'd say, like one of them is like every experience you're having is an experience you're creating. But I don't just say that to you and say like, now go eat crap because I just said this to you. It's actually used as a way of saying, if someone's victiming out and they are just like, these people just keep calling and I'm the one that has to stay here late and like, I never get on time to my kid's soccer, baseball game or whatever it is, you know, and it's just like complaint, victim. And all of a sudden, like you're just now buried in this victimhood, right? So I use that statement and I say, hey, I'm not saying this is a true statement. Yeah. And I'm not saying it has to be true all the time. But it could provide some resource for you as you feel like you're getting buried in this complaint, right? So I might say, would you try this on? Like, will you put this on like a coat? Like, go to the dressing room and try this on for me, basically. So the statement is, every experience you're having is an experience you're creating. How might that be true in this situation? Yeah. And it kind of, you can see it when people, like that lands for people, they're just kind of like, like, I don't like it initially, but if they try it on, what's the good news in that statement, would you say, like, as you've experimented with, like, using it?
I mean, that's like the birthplace of our theme of standing your ground is so often we get in those, like, terrible buried places because we've said yes to things we shouldn't have said yes to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the good news is going back and going like, wow. So if every experience I'm having is an experience I'm creating, I'm the one that said yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I don't want to have this experience anymore, I don't have to, maybe I don't say yes anymore and I start saying no, right? So there's, like you said, agency floods back into the system and now there's resource again.
Totally.
To start figuring out a way to dig out of the hole that you might be finding yourself in. Yeah.
Well, and too often, and this has kind of jumped in my mind and it's really good, so I'm going to start using this more. You piss somebody off here because you didn't, and they're really, really mad because you didn't disappoint them a little bit 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Interesting, yeah.
I think too often, I know I am so afraid of disappointing somebody with bad news that I just let it ride. And then all of a sudden, instead of it being like a little bit of bad news that then they could do something with, it's this big pile of bad news that's like a total disaster and nightmare. But if I would have even just communicated, hey, your shades aren't going to be here on time. 3 weeks ago, they could have said, well, that sucks. What can we do to fix it? Okay, let's make a plan and let's, let our customer needs to let their customer know your shades are going to be late.
You got 3 weeks to make a plan.
Yeah, exactly. Versus you were supposed to be here yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so cool because I think that also moves into the integrity theme too, 100%. Where it's like, as soon as you know you're not going to be able to do what you said you're going to be able to do, you call the appropriate parties, let them know, offer to clean up any mess that may have been created, because we're committed to keeping trust high, right? Like in the relationship, which is huge. Which is just like tending to your word, right? Like
totally.
Yeah.
Is this being recorded? I want to go back and take notes.
Oh,
this is some good stuff right here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man. Well, I mean, this is so good. I mean, we had our time of individual coaching, and then you were like, for some reason, you're like, I want this for my team. So I started working with a couple of the leaders at the leadership team, right? And then it went into like, how do we get this into the fabric of our company? Yeah. just curious, like, what, I mean, because that was not cheap, like to go pull the trigger on something like that. Yeah. So what was the impulse? Like, why did you say yes to that? Like, what was the...
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of frustration at how hard it was to try to get some of the things that we were learning into the hands and minds of other people.
Yeah.
I think we saw firsthand some of the real ROI from the impact it had on, myself, Josh, Chris, and Jeff, our leadership team. And we really wanted to figure out how to extend that to the rest of our team. Yeah, I think that just believing in the impact of having someone from the outside come in. I think having done that in the past, we did that with our succession planning. Having somebody from the outside was huge.
Yep.
We implemented EOS, the Entrepreneur Organizational System, and chose not to do it by ourselves, but hired someone to do it.
Yeah, Mike Abercrombie, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And my team was like, "You're crazy. Why are you doing this?" And then after the first 2 hours, they're like, "We should have done this like 4 years ago."
Dang, yeah.
So,
gosh, again, takes so much courage to like...
It does.
Go right.
It's scary. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Will they like this? Will it work?
Yeah.
Yep. Totally. Yeah. Well, and it was, oh man, it was such a dream to be able to serve the entire team and really get to know the underpinnings and the true unsung heroes of interior services and how hard they work and what they're creating. It was so good. Well, I know we're coming up on time here, but I'm just curious, like, as we're sort of exiting, like, when you think about, because the whole frame of our work together, we were always chasing impossible vision.
Yep.
Like, what if we could? And I've heard you say crazy things like, man, like, what if we could provide like first tuition for like people that have a family that's never gone to college and like they come to interior services and like this is a thing. Or what if they could buy a home here in Orange County or LA where you guys are at?
Not Orange County.
Yeah, not Orange County, only LA.
San Gabriel Valley and Inland Empire.
Too expensive. Yeah. No, but I mean, those are some like impossible goals.
Those are so impossible.
Yeah, but like those.
I can't believe you're even saying it out loud right now.
But those are some of the things that we were chasing.
Yeah.
And like you were like, this whole industry of the construction industry, I just want to shake it like a snow globe.
Yep.
And change the way that we do work together because it's so dog eat dog. It's a race to the bottom, like for the bid.
Yep.
But then the quality of delivery just sucks when you get that lowest bidder. And so like you just have this very different perspective. And we were chasing so many good things. And so I'm just curious, like, as you know, it's 2025. You guys are going into 2026.
Yeah.
Like, what's kind of on that impossible docket for you guys that you guys are sinking your teeth into and dreaming about, and maybe, or even just for you as a leader, what you're excited to really press into this next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're really pressing into our geographic expansion and really trying to figure out how to find and keep people in other markets and keep them engaged and keep them centered in, our culture and our vision. So I think that's a big one right now that feels a little bit impossible. Like, how can we replicate what we're doing here in Southern California and other places like Phoenix? And that's kind of the great experiment right now. We're going for it. We signed a lease and really are going for it. And then again, figuring out how to be an employer that's like compassionate and gives grace, but also doesn't set our business up for exposure to, risk down the road. I mean, it's pretty tough being a employer in California, but I don't want to just say it is what it is. I want to say like, no, there's a way that we can figure out how to do it. And I think we're making progress and figuring it out, and
we can walk that narrow path.
Making some good choices along the way.
And I feel like that's where faith too comes in, because oftentimes when it's a narrow path, it's like, it's a hard fall on either side. It's a lawsuit. Or,
it is. 100%.
And so it's like, it really requires like that value system you talked about and that faith of just like, hey, this, like, we're going to let the right thing and goodness prevail here, even though it has some possible like sharp falls on either side of it, right? And
Yeah.
and I think that takes a ton of strength and courage to be able to keep walking that narrow path. Yeah.
Even in the one we're in the middle of right now is this whole standing your ground idea of like we can be the subcontractor that says no, like everybody else does it. We can be the subcontractor that like says, yeah, sorry, we're not going to be taken advantage of here.
Yeah.
And that still is not quite 100% clicking in my brain, but I've got great people around me that are calling me out when I default to the like, just take care of it. We'll just give it to them. It's like, no, we don't have to. We can, stand our ground. So.
And what a cool culture that you'll actually listen to your crew and listen to different levels of the organization that are like, hey, we're here to sharpen everybody here, not just top down, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, thanks so much, man, for like just sharing the beautiful vignette of your life, your leadership journey, what you guys are creating. I believe so much that the small little interior services at the end of a multi-million-dollar project or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like your guys' commitment to changing the industry, like this, almost like this little engine that could, it is so, it's so cool to see how it's living and breathing just within the organization and how it then moves out into these like large developers that are developing like most of Southern California. And I see it. I hear the stories of just like working with interior services is so different than any other. So I love I love the vision of what's cooking out of the playground and the kingdom and the stewarding that you're having over that space. It's really cool to see.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Seth. Thanks for the way you've shown up for me and for our interior services family, and for being an incredible advocate. Yeah. Super grateful for that.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right, dude.